So I've always liked when other YouTubers, do a quick bookshelf tour. My bookshelf kind of grew based on the inspiration of seeing other people's. I think what I have at no other bookshelf. Welcome back to the Muscle Code YouTube channel. This is part 2 of top 5 self-help books. And I forgot to mention last time that this is non-fitness related self-help. I'll do fitness on its own. This is only, business, life, learning. I even consider like biographies almost under self-help. So we'll jump right into it with number 3. I don't have the book. I don't know what happened to it over the years. I'm actually trying to get a copy of it again. But it's Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, some of the content, this book came out, at least 20 years ago, and it's about when social media was still somewhat young, and some of the content might be a little bit outdated, but the fundamentals are more relevant now more than ever. I can't tell you anything specific from the book. I don't remember anything specific, but the fundamentals stuck with me. And like one of my favorite quotes is, "An education is what you remember after you forget what you've learned." This book accomplished that. The fundamentals of social media, he does a really good job ingraining that. It's about hustling, about caring, about authenticity. It really ingrained, and it really set the tone of how I treated, social media and online projects over the years as well. So if a self-help book, changes your life and sets the tone for how you attack and accomplish something, that's all you can really ask for. He's written a couple books since then that really get into, brand building and specifics of, your online brand management. But Crush It, his first one, it's still worth a read through today, even if just for a kick in the butt and some motivation to, spend time at your computer, interacting with, your social media followers or whatever. Back then, I worked for an ad agency right out of college, so it was perfect timing. I worked with a lot of like Google campaigns and managing websites and things like that. But nowadays, I think everyone needs to have that, have social media skills and have awareness of the different platforms almost as a requirement, no matter if you're in marketing or not. So it's definitely a, kind of like bring it full circle, kind of, maybe you'll get, kind of recommend Crush It again, even though it's a little outdated, kind of bring it full circle and say, hey, maybe you forgot about this book since it's been so long and technology moves so fast, people probably forget about it. But I still think it's a good book to read, and you'd feel good. You wouldn't regret it if you did. I mean, I just picked it up out of nowhere in Barnes and Noble one day. I was walking down the aisles, and it has this nice green black color scheme, and I read it, and I really liked it. So number 3 on my list, the top 5 self-help books, is Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's fun to listen to too. If you ever see any of his social media stuff, he even started an ad agency shortly afterwards. He did like wine. He sold wine online. That's where his social media chops began. But then he started his own ad agency, VaynerMedia. Don't know if he still does it, but anyway. Moving into number 2, I have a book called, and this is definitely not mainstream. It's Uncommon Genius by Denise Shekerjian. And this book was assigned in one of my Georgetown classes called Creativity in Business. And I remember me and my dad and I went on a tour of Georgetown, or no, this was actually when we first went for the orientation, and the teacher of this class was one of the teachers who was kind of like doing a mock class, and he was like kind of far out there, like long hair, like laid back, but then also engaging and smart at the same time. I ended up having a class with him, so I was super psyched about that. And the class was just, kind of like, it went against the grain. Everything we did in all the other classes was the opposite in this class. And this was one of the books in the curriculum. And I've read it. It's kind of like it's almost fallen apart. You can see it's fallen apart. I've read it so much, and the notes and the margins. So it basically boils down to each chapter corresponds with a different MacArthur Award winner, and the MacArthur Award is basically, in layman's terms, is someone gives you money to do whatever you want for like a couple years. So it's, I mean, that's like one of my secret dreams, like right there. So it basically goes into each of these MacArthur winners, each of their creative process, and it's interesting because they're all so different. Like the creative processes across the board are all different, but what ties them together what ties them together in my mind is my interest in trying to be the best and trying to create something and trying to, it basically comes down to the fact that I'm fascinated by people who are the best at what they do. And if that resonates with you, then a vintage book that you should check out is Uncommon Genius. And like I said, it was part of the curriculum at this Georgetown. I mean, I went to Georgetown for 4 years. I did all the work. How many books did I read, and all the textbooks and all of that? And this is the only one I still have and remember. So that's definitely telling you something there. And next we'll do the number one self-help book. There'll actually be like a little twist to it, and we'll go from there. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you back. So I've always liked when other YouTubers, do a quick bookshelf tour. My bookshelf kind of grew based on the inspiration of seeing other people's. I think what I have that no other bookshelf